Hey, how you doing, everyone? Roland Jean Charles here, PMI JCM Realty Group, my property management company, 1/3 of the Joobyview crew, also original IECN. Okay, Walker,
Okay.
it's you.
What it is, everybody? Ken Jean Pierre, 2/3 of Joobyview.
And of course, Harold
Ready
is
for
in St.
action.
My bad, interrupted you. Yeah, Harold, the 3/3 is in St. Lucia doing God knows what to God knows who. Um, but we're gonna make it up tonight. It's gonna be a great show. So I got a couple of topics I want to run by you. I know you don't want to be getting reckless, so I'll let you go in tonight. So, but I got an opinion on this too. So the first thing I want to talk about, so this woman, right, goes to the gym, right, as women always do, and she goes to the gym, she works out, and while she's working out, someone comes to her, not someone, but the manager comes to her and tells her, as a matter of fact, let her tell the story because she probably tells the story better than I do. Let her tell the story. Hold on a sec. Hold on a sec. I'm gonna let her tell the story. It's an interesting story. And before I bring her up to tell her own story, you won't believe it though. But I agree with the manager. I wholeheartedly agree with this manager
I don't know the
because
scenario, so I gotta hear it.
I know. I'm gonna bring it to you. I'm gonna bring it to you live and uncut. Hold on a second. I'm gonna cue it up, and this is on TikTok. So
This video
let me pause it real quick.
it's me.
No, this is not. What are you doing? All right.
No, what you
So
got going on over there, man? What you got,
give me
Celine
a
Dion?
second. Give me a second, bro. Give me a second.
Is you listening to that? You got that Celine Dion popping?
Nah, bro. Stop it. Stop it. All right. Hold on. Let me bring this thing up. Where you screen? This screen right here. Is this the right one? All right. All right. All right. So I'm gonna bring this is the video right here. I'm gonna let her say. Tell her story. And then I'm gonna get your opinion on what you're hearing.
This video is for anyone who is in the gym and the fitness world. I've struggled with body dysmorphia and feeling comfortable in gyms my entire life. And when I found
What the hell?
this video is for anyone who is in the gym and the fitness world. I've struggled with body dysmorphia and feeling comfortable in gyms my entire life. And when I found a gym that I felt comfortable in and that I really enjoyed, it changed my life. Now, I need your real, genuine advice on this because something really, really disappointing happened to me at the last gym I was going to. They actually said something to me that made me feel so uncomfortable that I never wanted to go back there again. So, we are going to talk about why I pulled up this photo and I'll show it to you in a moment. But basically, what happened is the owner of the gym came up to me. This is also a very private owned fitness center, it's all women. And I really liked that. So the owner comes up to me and they say, "Hey, listen, we got to have a quick chat." And I'm like, "Sure, what's going on?" And I could sense that something was wrong because the conversation got uncomfortable really quickly. And they said, "Hey, we got to have a talk about your dress code." I'm like, "My dress code? You know, I wear leggings and a sports bra every day. That's just what I wear." And this day in particular, I was wearing these yellow leggings that I'll show to you in a second. And they continue to say, "I'm really sorry we have to have this conversation, but apparently you're making a few women feel uncomfortable with the leggings that you wear." My initial reaction is confusion and shock. And then it was more of like embarrassment. I almost felt like shame, even though I shouldn't. And I said, "How am I making women feel uncomfortable here. This is supposed to be like a safe
'Cause this
space
is
for
chick
us, no
taking shots.
judgment. And, you know, I wasn't wearing anything that was inappropriate. They're like, yeah, I don't know. They're, you know, a few women, more than one, came up to me and said that, you know, the leggings that you wear are, you know, distracting and also offensive. I was like, offensive? You know, when I think of like clothing that is offensive, I mean, if I was walking around in a thong or something, maybe I could understand. Now I'm gonna show you the pants that I was wearing. So these are the pants. I have them in multiple colors. They are bright. You know, my
All right. So enough of that, bro. My personal opinion, right? My personal opinion. I think those chicks at the gym were right. That is inappropriate. And as a dude, as a dude, I know you're gonna look at me crazy, right? I know you're gonna look at me crazy. But when
I
I
don't
go to
have.
the
I'm listening.
stop, when I go to the gym, bro, I don't like them distractions, bro. Like I've always said to you, I think I said this to you and Harold. If we ever blow up with Joobyview and I have a personal secretary, I'm gonna get the most plain Jane. Like I don't like. I look. I need your skirts below your knee, right? It needs to be knee length or longer. I need your clothes. Like I don't need to know what your shape is like. I don't want. I want to know. I don't know. I want to know. Just like a nun, for all I care. Like I don't need to see nothing. I don't want to see nothing. I don't need to see nothing. And when you go to the gym, these women feel just because they have like you can paint things on that looks like you have clothes, which you really don't like, and they think that's wearing clothes. I'm like, no, like you gotta no. For me, I think it's inappropriate. I mean, and I know it's normal. I know it's accepted. I know people like not like, but I prefer not to see that. I don't know, like I get that you got to bang about. And this girl is she's half Italian, she's half Jewish, or whatever. And you know, and I'm not going to say what I'm thinking about saying because it's gonna go all the way left. But like she has a nice shape, and that is distracting. A bra, a sports bra, and that. Like, go ahead.
Okay. So you bring up two different scenarios here, right? So you're in the gym, in a community space, where apparently, I mean, this article is saying that this is an all female gym, so that's kind of strange to me. That doesn't sound like that sounds like hating to me. It sounds like straight up and down jealousy. It sounds like hating. It sounds like those, football shaped women probably were just like linebacker shaped women was just not having it. It was just like, nah, you're doing too much. I think that's what that boils down to. I think that boils down into other women's insecurities. I don't think it boils down to her being offensive. This to me, like, if you go to any gym in America, you'll see somebody who looks like that. Like, this is not over the top. If anything, I've seen worse. I mean, I've seen worse in gyms. So this definitely sounds like some hating ass linebacker shaped woman, or plural women, who, you know, they with the body positivity movement, bro. And she's like, you know, so what? So wait, so the body positivity movement only applies to when you're 250 pounds plus. It doesn't apply to when you're actually in shape. Make that make sense. So what happened? So body positivity goes out the window when you're actually somebody who has a body type that's look like you're fit. Yeah, make that make sense. That sounds like insecurity to me. I mean, you know, but you said something about the secretary and the scenario. So you juxtapose two different scenarios here. So right, I agree. If you're working for me in my office, put some goddamn clothes on. But in a community space, I don't think we're dealing with the same rules here. This is a community space. Unless this gym has a letter of the law written out dress code that they, kind of explain to you in the signing up process. If they're in violation, if she's in violation of that particular gym's dress code, then I think they're well within their rights. But I mean, we making it to a world and to a place in this world where, like, bro, like, I'm tired of people's feelings, man. Fuck your feelings, bro. Like, if you really that insecure, do something about it. Like, what is this girl wearing? How is that offensive to you? Like, it's mind-boggling the stuff that we're getting to in this world. Like, this is where does it stop now? Where does this line, like the goalpost keeps getting moved further and further. Like, the rules are changing as we go. Like, everybody needs to be, you need to speak PC for anybody and everybody's. Yo, man, what happened to being real, man? I say to them linebacker-shaped women, fuck your feelings. I don't give a goddamn about your body positivity. If your body positivity only works for when you're fat, then it should work for when you're in shape as well.
I agree with that.
So it's as simple as that.
I'm all for equality. However, I do not care to see that in the gym, bro. Now, not caring to see it and liking what I see don't have nothing to do with each other. Right? But I would rather not see it. Like, I'd prefer more conservative look, right? Showing less and working out, going in there, getting on the grind, and going out in the sweat. Like, that's cool. But she's busty, she's curvy, and that yellow is technically covering her up. But reality, you can see everything. You can see the prints everywhere. Like,
but bro, you know. But here's the thing. The thing about it is it goes both ways. I mean, there are dudes walking into gyms. Not to mind you, the dudes who are in the gym with no shirt on. But then there's the dudes who might have like a little tank top. They might have a little. No. I've seen it. I've definitely seen it. But okay. But even the dudes who wear the ripped tank tops that show everything, and then you got these dudes who wear like the little booty shorts, like, because they might, bro. Dudes are wearing like when I'm saying they're not like. They're just really tight shorts that like ride up mad high. Like dudes are wearing that.
And that's inappropriate too.
So it's like, I don't go around. I don't care. Like if that's what the dude wants to wear, whatever. Like it don't affect my workout. Like I could care less. And so, my whole thing is like, in the name of equality, if we're talking about body positivity, if we're gonna sit here and push linebacker Lizzo into the mainstream, and then we're gonna say, oh, yeah, this is okay to look like this, and she can, so if she, this girl, whoever she is, so if she was 300 pounds or 275 pounds, nobody would have had a problem with it,
bro.
And she was wearing the same thing.
I would have a problem with it.
You would have a problem with it, but then you would. Guess what? You would have had the opposite problem, because now they would have been like, oh, you're only saying she can't wear that because she weighs 300 pounds. That's exactly what they would have said. They would have flipped it. So now in reverse, when somebody actually is wearing something that, is form-fitting, but they're actually in shape and actually in a good enough space that, it's tight, but it looks good. Okay, now it's a problem. But if she was 300 pounds, you wouldn't dare approach her, because that would be body shaming, right? Come on, man. Make it make sense.
I would have a problem either way. The point I'm trying to make.
But I'm talking about the masses. Think about this scenario in reverse. Think about this scenario. If this girl was 300 pounds, like
I would say.
Okay, but I'm saying in terms of the masses. I'm not saying you. I'm talking about in terms of the masses. How would that be looked upon, if we're being honest? How would that be looked upon? I'm right.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just telling you, either way, they both be inappropriate to me.
So
let's go to the next conversation.
That's how I feel about it.
That's how I'm looking at this picture.
Fuck Lizzo.
It is a nice picture. Whoever you are, young lady, you all have a very nice shape.
You heard what I said?
Yeah, I heard you. I heard you snuck that in, that low blow. Trying to get Lizzo in the gut. Speaking the gut.
No, I'm not trying to do nothing to her gut.
So check this out, right? So this story, I first saw it somewhere else, but picked it up on Yahoo. So this dude right here, he's a former UFC fighter or what have you, but now he's a food critic, and he has 8.1 million followers on YouTube. I'm not on YouTube, on TikTok, and he posted a review of this restaurant. Let's see if I can bring it up real quick. And this restaurant was suffering from low sales, blah blah blah. And so one of the employees of the store contacted this dude and said, "Hey, I need you to review my store, yada yada." And I'm gonna let him tell the story for a little bit.
Yesterday afternoon, I got an email from an employee of a family-owned restaurant here in Vegas. I got it. Let's try it and rate it 1 to 10. I spent $86.73. The email read, "I'm an employee at Frankincense Pizzeria. It's really slow. We really can't afford rent, and we would love for you to come and try the food. The owner don't know you coming. It's a family-owned business, and the food is delicious, but we don't have a marketer behind us. That's the only reason why we don't really get that much business." The owner reached out to another food creator, and they tried to charge us $2,600 to do a food review. How much do you charge? Please let me know. Thank you. I didn't charge absolutely anything, and I bought my own food. This taste test is to really see, is it only because of the marketing, or is the food bad, or is the service bad? I can tell you right now, the service is not bad at all, and let me tell you why. I called my order in, and the person who took it was Frank, who happens to be the owner of the restaurant. Frank was so dope. He literally took his time. He was patient. I was literally looking at the menu while I was ordering it, so I was like, please be patient with me. He was like, bro, take your time. I went in, I paid for my order with the cashier. He came from around the corner. He like 6'3", real tall dude. Came around the corner and was like, grab you a pop out of there. I was like, I don't drink pop. He was like, what about a Gatorade? Grab it. He had no idea who I was. He walked up to me. He was staring directly in my eyes, and he was like, what do you do? At first, I was like, what? He was like, what do you do? I got social anxiety, so I give in pretty easy in person. So I was like, I'm a food reviewer. I kind of whispered it. He was like, what? I was like, I'm a food reviewer. He was like, oh, we got to talk. We had like a 10-minute conversation, and I basically told him I'm going to be completely honest. I'm going to be 100% real. If I don't like the food, I got to tell you. I'm not trying to be malicious. And he was like, I'm going to be real with you too. I need help. Yeah, that hit me here. He said the food is delicious. He has great reviews on Yelp. The only bad reviews is that he don't close the time it says that he closed on Google. The time it says he closed on Google is 1 a.m. He was like, I literally can't afford to open that late because we don't get that much business. Frank, if you're watching this, I'm going to be completely honest. You are an amazing man from what I saw. I appreciated your time and I appreciated your conversation. Let's try this food. Garlic knots, off rib. These look amazing. Boy. It's some red chili flakes on there that makes it spicy. I was not expecting that to be spicy. That is delicious. 9.2 out of 10. We starting high. Peach chutney wings. I ain't never had a peach flavored wing before. That's a delicious wing. It's sweet. It's salty. That's a 9 out of 10. 1/2 of the classic Italian sub. This thing is huge. Frank. This is delicious. All this food is so balanced so far. It's spicy. It's salty. 9.6 out of 10. I thought this was more food. He gave me a whole bag of ranch. I didn't even ask for that. That's good service. That just took me over the top. Mild wings. They look like homemade ranch too. I'm not a huge fan of the ranch. It's kind of bitter to me. But that wing is fire. I wish it was a little more spicy. For mild, it has no spice at all. So for the wing, it gets an 8 out of 10. The ranch gets like a 6.5 out of 10. Lemon pepper sauce wings, that thing packed with flavor. I ain't gonna try the ranch again because again, I'm not a huge fan. This is one of the best wings I've ever had. This is a 10.
All right, enough of that. So what do you think about that, bro? I mean, you know, and I want to start by saying this. This is a 4-minute video, right, on TikTok. And TikTok has a lot of followers and, you know, had a lot of people on it using it for all types of stuff. And, you know, I've always said Joobyview is kind of like a mixture of Google reviews, Yelp, and Instagram. But, you know, you can put TikTok in there too because we want our videos to be short, and TikTok videos sometimes are short. But that's kind of real-time video reviews. That's what we going for. They're doing it on TikTok, but that's what we going for with our app. What are your thoughts, bro? What are you thinking?
I mean, you know, I think the review was a very thorough review. If I had to,
would you go try the chicken when you go to Vegas? You gonna go to Frank's?
I mean, you know, I don't think I would go out of my way like to go like, you know, but if I saw the restaurant and I was like, oh, I think I remember this. Let me give it a try. You know what I mean? So it was memorable. You know, the reason why it was memorable is because he gave us a little bit of a backstory and, you know, he made it personal, right? So yeah, I would give it a shot based on his review because he's saying everything is pretty good. The only thing I think he gave a bad review was the ranch sauce, but I don't eat ranch sauce personally, so I wouldn't even have tried that. I would have got a different sauce, period. But I think the question that you're asking me that's me dissecting the review, but I think the question that you're asking me is about whether, you know, how do I feel about TikTok having people do reviews. It's cool. However, TikTok is such a broad space. You know what I mean? I think what we do that's different and in my opinion superior is that, you know, where there's a direction with us. There's a direction with us. There's a clear cut understanding of what we are trying to do, whereas TikTok is a plethora of everything. It's just kind of a mishmash of everything. Whereas I think we have a clear direction and we go into more detail in terms of like the the way that we try to help you navigate. You know what I mean? Like with this is kind of like, oh, you know, if I'm ever in that area, oh, I would give it a try. Whereas Joobyview, it's like I'm in the area and I need something to try. You feel me? So I think it's a different need. You know, I think our need is more immediate in terms of like, I have no clue where to go right now. Whereas, you know, this guy's in Vegas and, you know, I've been to Vegas, but shit, I mean, it's like, how often am I going to be there? You know what I mean? So it's like, how relevant is that to me? Whereas that's where I think that's where we, you know, we stand alone in that regard, is that we try to make it relative to the person using it at that moment, rather than just looking. This is more for entertainment purposes, to be honest. I was very entertained by his review. However,
so
it wasn't practical. It wasn't like, I think we bring practicality to it. You know what I mean?
and I get that. But having said that, that entertaining review ended up turning everything around. Let me see if he talks about what happened at the restaurant after his review.
All American burger. I haven't even tried the fries yet. They all come with fries. The fries are like a 2. I'm not a fan. It don't really taste like nothing. It look like a good burger. It is a good burger. That's just a good, classic, high quality burger. 9.2 out of 10. Small, classic white pizza. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. It's really good. 8.9 out of 10. That is classic, delicious, thin crust pizza. Really garlicky, like super garlicky. Last but not least, a small, classic pepperoni pizza. Them some huge pepperonis. Boy, I swear, this is why I started making videos like this. Because places like this that don't nobody know of, this is a 9.8 out of 10. I'm a wholeheartedly agree with the employee here. Frank, from me to you, this is my opinion. There is no way you should be behind on rent or struggling to pay rent. It is marketing. That's 100% what I feel like. That food is delicious. The service is amazing. God is amazing. I'm always appreciative to be a vessel. I love trying places like this. This one of them ones. Yeah, Frank. Yeah, Frank. I'm coming back and I'm shaking your hand. I don't even want nothing else. I just want a handshake. God bless you. Y'all be safe. Y'all have an amazing
Does old buddy have? Is that
yesterday?
Paw Patrol?
Yeah, he has a kid. You see right there.
Why he's sitting in this kid's chair?
That's what he's eating. That's what he. But the reason why I showed that, I wanted to see if it went down, if it showed more. But his review turned that business around. Now everybody is going over there and they're getting business like crazy, and they have to shut down early now because they running out of food. People are like, they selling out of stuff, right? So but this is the power of, entertaining video review, right?
Right.
And
Absolutely.
and so while TikTok is a hodgepodge and it goes all over the place, if we get Joobyview, people like that on Joobyview to do reviews that are entertaining, catchy, and then being as relevant as we are, giving the top 5 reviews, you know, I think it'll be dope, bro.
I agree.
I
agree.
I think it'll be.
I mean, yeah. So like he's definitely someone who has a a genuine approach to it. I mean, he has a realness to him, and the dude, even though he was giving a regular review, he was charismatic. Like, he threw in a joke when it needed to be thrown in. Like, it was an entertaining review, and it was and he got into necessary detail. And, in terms of that, like, that's the kind of person that gains trust on a platform.
Right. Maybe we should hit him up and see if he jump on Joobyview and do some reviews. Anyway,
I'm all for it.
Yeah. So we got two other topics I want to talk about. One, Candace Owen talking about Andrew Tate and the Me Too movement, and man throwing wife and kids out after she questioned him about being out. Which one you want to talk about?
Man throws wife and kids out after she
You know,
questions about
yeah.
being
Since this captured your attention, let's look at it. You know, I don't know if these are actually his kids, right? And I don't know if they even married, right? Because you know sometimes they get stories all messed up, right? I don't know if they're married. I didn't see a ring. I don't know what their situation is, but this is what they're saying. Now, for me, I don't care how mad I get with the woman I'm with. I ain't gonna throw the babies out. Can't throw the babies out. Like even Andrew Tate, man, he was talking about when his father would come home and his mom would be running her mouth about where you been, just like this woman. He was like, "Yo," his dad just turned around and left. He's like, "Sorry, son, your mom shut up." you know. So I get that. Like I can see that. Like you come home and shorty just getting at you. You're like, oh my goodness. And so you dip. This dude, nah, he's like, I ain't leaving. You leaving. And I can't imagine a man kicking out his actual wife with his actual kids. So what I'm thinking is, this is the woman that he's with, a woman he's living with, but that's not his wife. Those aren't his kids. Because there's no way you can throw your kids out and then look at them in the face the next day. Like, you know, even if the mom leaves, there's no way you're gonna be able to look at your babies the next day if you throw them out. Like that doesn't compute to me.
But notice they didn't put they just said man throws wife and kids out. So they're claiming that it's wife, but they don't necessarily make clear that they're his kids, right? Then, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I noticed that play on words.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? They're
Can I kick out a woman and then a kids that aren't mine? Possibly, depending on how close I am with those kids, right? If I'm close with those kids, and you know, because kids love me, right? And so I couldn't kick out a kid, like, because I used to deal with a chick one time, and her child used to call me Daddy Roland. Like I couldn't see myself throwing out a kid that considers me or sees me as their dad. Like I can't do it. Like I can't. It just wouldn't sit with me.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I could. I don't think I can involve babies into this thing.
Yeah, you know, I would leave. She won't see me for another month, but I wouldn't throw the babies out. I mean, yeah, even you know, when I used to drive in New York, you know, New York people are nuts. When I used to drive in New York, you know how sometimes young kids, or not young kids, but people try to play around in the road, like playing Russian roulette with the streets. Like if you are in high school, college, and you playing around in the streets, like you need to get out my way. Like I'm not slowing down for you. You need to move. But if I see anyone walking with a baby, a minor of any kind, I respect them kids. I don't respect you, but I do respect them babies. Like I will slow down. Like I can't see myself like putting out the babies, especially if it's, you know, baby that I'm cool with or it's mine.
I mean, you know, this needs more context, because this is a headline. I would have to kind of dig into the story a little bit. I feel like I need more information.
I mean, they got a whole story here.
So let me see. What you scrolling too fast? I didn't get a chance to. Hold on.
Read it out, bro, so the audience can go take this journey with you as you're pondering through it.
Most adults will likely agree that when a relationship goes sour, both parties should do what is in the best interest of the children that are involved. That is exactly why many viewers were shocked to see a man throwing his wife and kids' belongings out on the front lawn after she questioned him about coming home late. Okay, so here they kind of, his wife and kids, they kind of lumped them together, right?
Don't they do that up? His,
So
throws wife and kids. Okay.
no, yeah, here they said his. So that was,
Right.
you know what I mean? That's the difference. In a TikTok video caption, "I'll be damned," shared by a woman named Nye, a man and a woman square off on the front porch after she apparently questions him about his whereabouts. After refusing to answer the questions about getting home late, the man kicks out his wife and kids out. As the video begins, a young boy is standing on the porch observing his mom, opens the screen door, and exits the home with the baby in her arms. I don't think those are his kids. They are refusing to put any, association as far as the kids and him. They're lumping him together. So he seems like he's married to her, but the kids might be hers from a previous situation. That's what I'm getting from this, because the way that they're wording it, and they're carefully trying to tug at people's heartstrings and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But this dude is cold. I mean, there's no either way. Either way, this dude is he a cold some of a he a cold dude. Yeah, he a cold dude. But it's evil in these streets, man. You got but the thing about it is I think he went overboard. I mean, my mentality. I mean, I've never been in a situation where I've played stepdad, so I don't know.
Remember that story you told me? I'm joking.
Nah, I've never. Oh no. I've. That doesn't mean I didn't date people with, women with kids, but I never played stepdad.
Well, that's what they call it now. They call it dating. That's what you call it.
Well, yeah, PC. But the thing about it is, like, I never forged any type of relationship with any kids that weren't mine. So I don't think that I would put myself in a position where, like, I would have to kick kids out. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that's where he, if he was going through it, whatever, with the lady or whatever, if he wanted to leave the house or he wanted her to leave the house, that's a different story. But the babies, like, he didn't have to get them involved in that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Especially because it was probably something petty, and tomorrow he's gonna be, trying to get back with her or whatever the case may be. Like, if you're going to do all of that, like, you're doing the most at this point. If you actually deciding that you're leaving the situation and you're breaking it off, and this is the final straw, and this is the action that you're taking, then that's a different story. But it's for what this whole argument started over. I don't think they're going to be breaking up over it. So, like, why do all of that? You know what I mean? I think that's just a terrible example to them young kids, especially the little boy. To see his mom get treated like that.
Yeah. At least they didn't fight.
Huh?
I mean, at least they didn't fight. I mean, at least there was no violence, I could say, right?
Yeah, I mean, but that's still, it doesn't have to be violent to be a toxic situation. That's just a toxic situation.
I didn't say it wasn't toxic. I'm just saying at least they didn't fight. Right?
No, he's totally wrong, man. I can't condone this or defend.
I'm saying that he wasn't wrong. I'm not saying he's right.
For me, I'm taking a side. I personally think he's wrong. He OD'd. He doing the most. He did too much right there.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
And I think he definitely did too much. Regardless,
like I said, I couldn't do it.
Regardless of him being questioned or whatever the case may be, listen, man. There's 100 different ways to handle that, and he took the absolute worst route. You know what I mean?
He could have took a lot worse than that, but I think he took a bad route.
He took a bad. Okay, fine. He took a bad route. He shouldn't have put the kids in the wife out.
Yeah. And you got people in the comments. Legally, you can't throw your spouse out. Well, women throw men out all the time.
Oh,
I would have called. It must be a woman that says that because women throw men out all the time. Get out.
Word.
I would have called law enforcement if this is true. He's foul, and I hope she divorces him. The kids should not be subjected to this type of crime. That's true. I'm with you on that, KW. Lady die. He is as guilty of wrongdoing as he can be. Whenever we come home late, there's a chance we were guilty of doing something the women don't like. Couples fight, but don't throw out the kids. Yeah, that's true. Don't throw out the babies. Who filmed it? Yeah, who was filming this? That's true. That's a good question.
They said it in the story. It was a woman named Nay. They said it in the story.
Right, but who filmed? Who took these pictures of her leaving?
A woman named Nay.
The wife was named Nay, bro.
No. Look at the story.
Bro.
In a TikTok video shared, I'll be damned, by a woman named Nay. It says it right there in that sentence. I read it. Look, in a TikTok video caption, I'll be damned, shared by a woman named Nay or Nye, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
A man and a woman square up. They're talking about her in the third person.
I got you, bro. I got you. You're good. Yeah.
Nay nosy as hell.
He's the security system for the block.
Nay is nosy as hell, bro.
She got videos on everybody. She probably called the wife while he was coming home. She was videoing. And so that's why the wife is asking questions, because Nay called ahead of time and was putting stuff in her head. Nay's probably the problem. She needed some content for TikTok, so
Nay set him up.
All right, so last topic. So this video is kind of long. I'm gonna have Candace talk a little bit. Some commercials might come up, but we try to skip through it real quick.
And so they're just going after him to take him out. And Andrew Tate, to some extent, believes that this is true. I wanted to give my take on this situation because I think it's relevant and I think it's interesting and it speaks to exactly what we are talking about and why I don't want to say that I hold a low opinion of a lot of women. I don't. But I think that I hold a very realistic opinion of what women are capable of all around the world. It is why it landed me on the opposite side of the Me Too movement, which I believe is women that trade sex for positions in Hollywood, for positions at work. And then when they regret that sex that they traded, they call a man a rapist. And it's also why an account like Tag the Sponsor makes me laugh, because I know that women are not all just these precious butterflies who are always caught up in circumstances and don't know how they landed there. Women can be, just like men, can be conniving. Women can, when they want to get around to it, be more conniving and more plotting than men can be. The Andrew Tate story is interesting to me for a lot of reasons. The first is because of how I met Andrew Tate. Totally weird story. Andrew Tate was at the Ritz in London when me and my husband first fell in love, and he was with a mutual friend of ours who I'm not going to name, doesn't matter. I met him as I was having this dinner with my husband and his friend. Andrew Tate was there. I had no idea who he was. This is kind of before he really took off on the internet, even though I think he was known to some. He was not at all known to me. He was very nice to me. I have nothing bad to say about how he treated me. He was very kind. He wasn't wearing glasses inside as he does now. I think that's kind of his online persona. But he was very kind. I didn't speak to him very much. Obviously, I was in love with my husband, like falling in love. So I spoke to my husband the entire time. But, and here's a very interesting but, I had my assistant at the time with me, who happened to be Romanian. She's born in Romania, speaks Romanian, happened to have been in the United States, because she was playing tennis at university. And then she worked for me for a couple of years, and she wasn't a very good assistant. That's why she's not with me anymore. And she was also a young woman who was obsessed with Instagram, this kind of a girl that would pose seductively on the internet, right? And she spent a lot of the time that we were there talking to him, right? They were having a conversation. I don't know if he was speaking to her in Romania. I don't even know if he speaks Romanian, but I do know that he spoke to her. And at the end of this dinner, as I am not paying attention because I've got butterflies in my stomach and I'm falling in love with my husband, she comes over to me afterwards and she says, this guy, Andrew Tate, I think he's a pimp in Romania. I said, what? And she's like, no, I think he's like actually a pimp in Romania. And I'm sitting here going, I don't even know what you're talking about. He's not even Romanian. He's a UK citizen. Maybe he's American. He doesn't sound.
You know what I like about her? She sticks to the facts as closely as she can. Like she takes some liberties, but she doesn't like go off on a wild tangent or some assumption. She sticks to what she knows and she clarifies what she understands and what she doesn't based on what she's talking about. I like that about how she's explaining it.
Romanian doesn't look Romanian. I don't know what you're saying. And she also said a lot of stupid things. So I didn't really give too much air to what she said. It just didn't really make sense to me. I don't know if she meant to say that he had approached her, which, by the way, if he did, she would have been a perfect candidate for this. She was very interested in, and eventually it was why we had to go our separate ways, one of these girls, right? Someone that wants attention, wants somebody that's going to shower them with attention, somebody that wants money. And so I just remember that one comment. It's something that she said, and I did.
You know, just about the point earlier, Candace Owen is in public the kind of style of woman that I would like. She's all fully clothed. You can't tell if she got titties or not. Like you can't see nothing. Like, and she's beautiful, right? Like that right there. And I'm not saying that a woman should wear this to the gym, but cover yourself up.
Okay.
Into it because it wasn't relevant to me and it wasn't relevant to my life. So you fast forward to today, and I see these allegations of him being a rapist, human sex trafficking, whatever in Romania. And my take on this is that I do not believe that Andrew Tate is a rapist. I don't. I think that is what people like to accuse men of when they're trying to take them down, right?
What do you think about that right there? What she just said? I'm gonna let her play for a little bit. I want to get your
well, she's formulating
that point right there. She just said
she's formulating her opinion, so she hasn't really said anything as to why she doesn't believe it, but she just said she doesn't believe it. So I would let her talk just to see what her angle is and why she's taking that stance. Just let it play out a little bit.
All right.
Do I believe that Andrew Tate is exactly what he tells us that he is in his videos when he talks about women and he says that he thinks that women should be subservient to men, and that in his relationships, he says that he has tons of children, and that he says that in his relationships, he expects to be the more dominant one. I'm paraphrasing here, but Andrew Tate is not hiding exactly who Andrew Tate is, and always has been. And clearly he communicated exactly what it was and whatever it was that he does in Romania to my assistant, giving her the option. Maybe she wants to join. For all I know, maybe in Romania, which maybe perhaps the reason he moved to Romania, whatever he was doing, being a modern Hugh Hefner, is legal. I'm taking a guess here. I don't know. But if you're a guy and you hold citizenship in America or in the United Kingdom and you decide to uproot to Romania, it's got to be because you can do a little more dodgy stuff in Romania. It's the Eastern Corridor. This is how things work, right? Romania is like Ukraine. It's an incredibly corrupt country. The governments are entirely corrupt. Now, the risk that you run is that what you are doing in Ukraine might be legal if your goal is to be a Hugh Hefner. And I think that what he did, I believe that Andrew Tate was always upfront with all of these women in the same way that when you go to work for the Playboy Mansion, they're pretty upfront with the fact that you're going to be walking around in a bikini wearing bunny ears. When Hugh Hefner was alive, I believe he always communicated that and he was always upfront, right? But when you decide to do that in Romania, the risk that you run is that it's Romania. And any day when the government realizes that you have money in Romania, if you are flashing your wealth on the internet in the capacity that Andrew Tate flashes wealth on the internet, the government will make up charges to seize your wealth. And that is exactly what is happening to Andrew Tate right now. He is having his cars seized. He is having his money seized. I think they've taken over his compound, I read. There's no reason for them to do this if they're trying to discover whether or not he was a part of a human sex trafficking ring, if they're trying to discover whether or not he raped anybody. There would be absolutely no reason for them to seize his cars. It's not relevant until at least the conclusion, right, of the investigation. It's absolutely not relevant. But it's Romania. The Romanian government is corrupt. The Romanian government has to do what the Romanian government does, right? These are the Zelenskys of the world, people in that region. They steal from people, and that is the truth. What I found interesting is that because the media does hate Andrew Tate, and they had hated him long before any of this became public, they hate him again because he describes himself as an anti-feminist. He tells women that they should be beautiful. He tells men that they should be more dominant. And the internet and the media does not like that. They keep revealing private conversations that Andrew Tate has had with women. I guess that's supposed to be the media's form of evidentiary support to the idea that he's a rapist. And what ran in an article last night was a transcript of a woman basically saying that she didn't want to get a tattoo. Allegedly, all of the girls that Andrew Tate is with, they have a tattoo of his name on their body. And she says, no, I want to keep my body pure. And he's like, well, I'm paraphrasing here. If you're going to be with me, your body belongs to me, and you need to get this tattoo. I do not find that to be evidence that he is a rapist, and we need to stop being so sloppy when we say that people are rapists, and we need to accept the fact that there are a lot of women that have this fetish. There are women that like to be dominated over. I had a person that I was friends with at university who was in my class, and we became friends because I was so shocked at the stories that she would tell me about her 3 different boyfriends that she managed, unbeknownst to all of them. And she was very into kinky stuff. She liked the idea of men being dominant over her. It was all of the BDSM stuff. She was into it. She'd like to have those conversations when he would tell her what he was going to do with her, or when he would tell her to shut up. This was a part of her sexual kink, right? And people do not want to believe that there are women that are into this. There are. And I have to believe, because of how public of a figure that Andrew Tate has been, because of how honest he has been about his expectations in relationships and in his views of the women that he is with, or what he would do in a scenario if he was dating a girl that did this or that the women that were messaging Andrew Tate, engaging in conversations with Andrew Tate on the internet, on Instagram, via direct messaging, knew what they were getting into. And I feel that is important to say, because I am so sick of this idea that we should always accept that in every situation a woman is a victim. I'm not empowered by that. I don't find that to be empowering, right? The Me Too movement to me disempowered women, because it said women never know what they're doing. They just are always little flowers, and men take advantage. The truth is that women take advantage too. And the easiest thing for women to sell to get what they want is sex, right? This is what Tag the Sponsor proves. I want to be rich. I want to have money, and I don't want to work. So I'm going to sell sex. I have no talent, and I want to be an actress. So I'm going to sell sex. There's even an element of this, by the way, when you start hearing stories about how Harry and Meghan got together. We spoke about this yesterday, when he talks about how he showed up at her hotel in London, Soho House. And as soon as he opened the door, she threw herself on him and got naked. Yeah, because Meghan wanted to get with a prince. You know, she was kind of like, this is my last shot in life. I'm 40 years old, almost 40 years old. I'm going to get with this prince and make him love me. I'm going to have sex with him, premarital sex with him, because that's what I want to do. And clearly it worked, right? Sex is a power that women have. Being beautiful is a power. Being aesthetic, being feminine is a power that women have. And women tend to wield that power heavily throughout society. And so I want to be very clear that I do not agree with Andrew Tate's lifestyle. Not whatsoever. Not as a Christian person do I agree with Andrew Tate's lifestyle. But two things can be true at once. You can disagree with Andrew Tate's lifestyle while also acknowledging that the women that involved themselves with him, right, the women that are now angry and turning their backs and saying, well, you know, I felt that I thought I was going to be with him forever. I thought I was going to be the only one, while also acknowledging that they also contributed themselves to this. They did this intentionally. They knew what they were getting into. Perhaps it was for money. Perhaps it was for fame. It likely was for a certain lifestyle that he provided. But that is what you call an exchange. So there's going to be a lot more to the story. I'm sure more things are going to be revealed.
All right. Now that you heard the full extent that you needed to hear, what say you?
I mean, she said a lot. She said a lot of things, and she kind of meticulously laid out why she doesn't buy the story. You know, she described the type of woman that is probably attracted to this type of lifestyle. She described the fact that he is a very he's very upfront with what his intent is. He's very upfront with how he moves and how he views you know, the woman and man dynamic. He's very upfront about that stuff. So he makes it pretty clear in terms of like, if you're going to get involved with him, he makes his expectations pretty clear. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, I don't think there's nobody being surprised in terms of like, oh, I didn't know he was like this, or yeah, that's nah. Now, you know,
exactly
is he,
though, bro?
Huh?
That the woman that accused him, that's exactly what they're saying. That's what she's saying.
But that's the point. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense with the type of person that he is. It doesn't make sense that, I mean, there are a lot of things that are murky in terms of like, you know, we don't know the details about what goes on in his closed doors, but he has touched upon, you know, his occupations. He's touched upon how, you know, he had an operation running a webcam business. Like he's talked about all the things that he's done that have involved businesses with, you know, with women. He's talked about it all at length. Like he's talked about it for a long time. I mean, he's never ever not mentioned that. So the fact is, if this man is willing to lay out all of this information, and women are still feeling like, oh, I got blindsided, and it doesn't add up. It doesn't. The two things don't. You can't, on one hand, be this open, this kind of upfront with how you are as a man and how you view things, and then a woman is coming to you and saying like, "Oh, I didn't know." It's like, it's kind of like, okay, a woman being, it's the same kind of scenario where a woman is attracted to a man's money, right? But you know, he posts on his social medias his car, or you see pictures of him, you know, with jewelry on, or you know, with wads of cash, or he's at these expensive restaurants, and you get with him and you're like, oh, I didn't know he had this lifestyle. I liked him for him. No, you didn't like him for him. You liked him for the presentation. You liked him for what you think that you can get out of him. You liked him for the opportunity, possibly, and you were attracted to that. That attracted you. So it's like, it's, you know, I definitely feel like, you know, a lot of these scenarios that come out in the public where they're painting people as one thing. I just think that, you know, sometimes people, a lot of people are opportunists, man, and it's an ugly world, you know. And so, you know, not to say that there aren't men out there that are doing, you know, shady shit, or like, you know, that Hollywood doesn't have a lot of weird business going on and a lot of weird people aren't involved in Hollywood. But at the same time, it's just like, you know, it's kind of like the Amber Heard thing. Believe all women, man. It's like, you know what I mean? Believe all women. If a woman says it, then it must be true. And it's like, nah, man. It's like we need to actually see some facts. We need to actually, you know, before you go put hands on a man and arrest him and take his cars and shut down his accounts and raid his house and take all his laptops and this, and before all of that happens, I mean, damn, can you get some type of actual proof besides quote unquote, you know, what one woman said? I mean, so you're gonna tear down a whole man's everything he's worked for in his whole life. You're gonna tear everything down based on, and your evidence to this point was based on someone saying something about you. Like, that's crazy that this is the world that we live in, where we could work as hard as we want, you know, build ourselves to, you know, incredible heights, and be taken down and smeared by just an accusation. Now, if the accusation does play out in court and it's like, okay, the accusations end up being accurate, by all means, the punishment is deserved. You know what I mean? But it's like the punishment precedes the judicial system. You know what I mean? The second that the information is, you know, released from a woman's mouth into the atmosphere, you're punished publicly. You're being shamed. And, you know, if they're also going to go ahead and, you know, lock you up and then, you know, find out, it's like to lock you up first and then find out the details later. And then now in Andrew Tate's case, you're getting your whole livelihood just basically confiscated. And this could all just be, you know, hearsay. And it's just like, yo, that's a scary world we living in, man. It's a scary world we're living in.
Yeah, you're right, bro. You're right. You know, but it's always interesting when you hear a woman's point of view on things, you know. And I know Candace Owens is seen as, you know, on the wrong side and
divisive.
Yeah, she's a Republican leaning, not Republican leaning. She's Republican, but you know what she said had a lot of credence, and you know, for a moment there, I'm like, damn, does Walken sound like Kevin Samuels right now?
What, just now?
Are you channeling your inner Kevin Samuels?
What, just now? What I just was saying?
Yeah.
I mean, what can I say, man? Look, man, I'm still a relatively, just overall in life, you know, we're all still relatively somewhat young, but we've lived enough to see this movie play out. Like, you know, this ain't the first time we seeing this. Like, you know, it's just like it's getting worse and worse. Right. As the days roll on, but you know, you after you see something once, twice, three times, I mean, how many men since the beginning of time have been taken down by, you know, accusations and, you know, being involved in women, bro? Like, you know, that's the pitfalls of one of the pitfalls of success is, you know, not moving right when it comes to the opposite sex. When you get that success, there's just certain things that, you know, nowadays you just can't do. You just can't do it because you're putting yourself at major risk. You know, a lot of women are clout chasers. A lot of women will smear your name just because. And if you're in a position where you have a lot to lose, you can't be moving reckless, man. You can't, And rest in peace to Kevin Samuels, bro. But to me, even the way that he passed, man, was kind of murky. You know what I mean? Because it was just like, because he was involved with a young lady, and it's like, we don't know who this young lady is. We don't know where he met her. We don't know. You know what I mean? It might sound far-fetched, but or maybe not.
Conspiracy theories?
Yeah, no, yo, but listen, conspiracy theories and stuff like that. Sometimes something can be so far-fetched that it's actually not far-fetched, if that makes sense. What I'm saying, it's like, this dude, was starting to gain notoriety in this exact same space that Andrew Tate is in. He was, he was an older version of Andrew Tate, pretty much. And Andrew Tate's a little more flashy, more flamboyant. But Kevin Samuels and Andrew Tate are speak a lot of similarities, and all of a sudden, the fame and the notoriety came with Kevin Samuels. He had been talking for years and nobody paid attention to him. And then, all of a sudden when he blew up, now all of a sudden, a year into it, he's dead, just at age 55 or whatever it was, 56, not that old, like, and the way he died was kind of murky and not much information was out there. Who's to say that, that this woman, whoever this woman was, wasn't some type of woman that was sent for him, bro? Like, it's quite possible.
Enough of your conspiracy theories. Kevin died of natural causes, as like the coroner said. Listen, I never put anything past anything. I don't trust nobody.
Exactly.
So
they could have sent for that man. And the easiest way to send for a man is through a woman. That's all of our Achilles heels.
Except for someone that's not trying to see a woman dressed inappropriately at work or
whatever, bro. You'll be the first one to
anyway,
get that.
On that note, I think we had a great show. It's been an hour. We're new to this, but we're true to this. Joobyview, we're trying to get this going. Joobyview TV. I want to do the Joobyview TV metaverse stream, but the technology wasn't having it tonight, so we get it figured out. So we're gonna roll out. This is a great show. It's on YouTube. Maybe we'll get it edited and bring it back. I don't know, but we're gonna get out of here. Roland Jean Charles, 1/3 of the Joobyview crew.
Yes, sir. King Ken, Jean Pierre, 2/3 of the Joobyview crew.
And thanks everyone for watching, which is approximately 0. We out.
Deuces.